this a growing trend?
It is definitely a growing trend. Certainly not the clients that I see. I mostly see men.
Okay.
But in terms of just what people probably have been seeing around town, not just in Las Vegas, but in many other big cities like New York City, you often see women who dress their small dogs up in cute little outfits and push them around in strollers. And so you could be driving along and look over and there's a woman crossing the street. You're like, oh, she's got a baby. No, she has, like a Shih Tzu or something in there.
Right.
And then afterwards, say this, period of time has elapsed and you guys are, one person wants to pursue a relationship with somebody else. How would you go about becoming friends again?
This is where it can get a little bit tricky because the two people who were in the friends with benefits relationship may have no problem saying, hey, we're just going to be friends, it's no big deal. However, their new romantic partner may have a completely different view on that and say, oh, you used to with that person? No.
Pink, I'm really surprised about this, wasn't always associated with femininity.
Yes, exactly. A lot of what this has to do with is fear. And so parents are afraid of what it will mean for their children picking toys that are not gender appropriate.
Yeah.
And as an example, boys gravitating towards pink items. Parents look at that, especially dads, and say, I don't want my son playing with anything pink.
Right.
But the fact is, if you go back 200 years, pink was actually associated with men. It was not associated with women. It's fairly common for children to destroy some of their toys.
Yeah.
Now, if your child is destroying everything, that's probably a problem.
Yeah.
But if it's just the occasional thing, I'll be honest, I tore the heads off of Barbie dolls when I was a child as well, and I'm now a psychologist, and I think reasonably adjusted.
Do you think before you even start dating, you should talk to your friend and say, listen, your ex has asked me out, I am attracted, do you feel comfortable with that or not?
Yes, I actually would recommend that. And especially if it's not necessarily that the ex asked you out, maybe you want to ask the ex out, then you definitely want to sit down with your friend and be honest about it and say, I have feelings for him or her, I've gotten to talk to them, it isn't just physical. Although even with that, the friend may still say no, so be prepared for that.
Post-traumatic stress, she says, is not a new problem.
This has always existed. PTSD, no matter what it was called, has always existed. If you go back and read information about wars from 2,000 years ago, they will talk about symptoms that sound remarkably like PTSD. Pay attention to what you're telling yourself, because a lot of times where the anxiety is coming from is that I'm telling myself, oh my gosh, something's going to happen. I'm preparing myself for this bad outcome that isn't necessarily going to happen.
Really having trouble, consult a professional.
Absolutely.